boy.
Right?
Getting things.
Done? Right, good.
Is everybody here? You're a mess.
Where's Tracy?
She's
Is that everybody?
It's not.
Oh well.
We move on.
All right.
The
Good
show
morning,
must
guys.
go on.
Good morning.
Good
Okay,
morning.
So, after the Gene Rivers presentation we went to a couple of days ago, last week, I had a little bit of a profound moment of thinking, so to speak. And I think that with Bold coming up, I think everybody on the team would benefit from a little bit of clarity and focused vision of what we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, especially with Bold coming. So, I had a little conversation with Craig about our lead generation and what Gene Rivers said to me about how people don't necessarily dig one hole deep enough. They kind of dig little holes here and there when it comes to what they're doing with their lead generating. I think us really diving deep on what we are doing and getting clarity on what we're doing will benefit all of us a lot, and I think it'll give us a lot of power in the market. So, focused lead generation, how less is more in the form of generating leads. Okay, so what is successful lead generation? Gene Rivers stated that 3 appointments a week will yield you a career worth having and a life worth living. So it's that simple. 3 appointments a week for all of us will yield you the life you want and the career you want. So this also means, and this is something that he stated, no longer measuring lead generation by dials and contacts, but rather only by measuring by appointment set. It's the only statistic that matters. If you have 200 contacts and no appointments, you still got nothing. You're not gonna make any money. So let's stop looking at dials and contacts as comfort points, because I think that's something that all of us kind of put ourselves into.
So are we gonna change how we report to CTE?
I haven't talked that much with Craig on that, and I think we should have a conversation about that, but I think that the further we go into, you know, contacts and dials, I think if we end the day on a point where we don't have any appointment, so we worked all day, we lead generated all day, and then we have no appointment set, we'll be like, oh, okay, well, at least I got 20 contacts, it's
Yeah.
fine. And then we're going home feeling like,
We want.
not that we've accomplished, but we don't feel like bad about it, or that we didn't get enough done. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas we should be a little bit harder on ourselves if we're not getting the appointments, because they're the only thing that's going to make us money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like getting nurtures is a good thing. Yeah, nurtures are a great thing. However, getting an appointment is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So I think us kind of putting a less emphasis on contacts and dials and putting more of an emphasis on appointments set, I think that will all yield us a better result in the long run. I think it does. And that's what Gene stated as well.
I agree, because I feel like, caught up in just making the contact instead of making the appointment,
Yeah.
it can kind of distract us.
Exactly, yeah, and then, going home and saying, okay, well, I didn't get anything done today, so to speak, but I did get I had 20 terrible conversations, which is good. You're getting better at talking on the phone, which is that's good for your skill set. However, it's not going to make you any money in the short term.
There you go.
Okay, so how do we set more appointments? Gene Rivers stated that the best approach for setting appointments is to select one arena to play in. This means selecting one form of lead gen that will yield you at least 2 appointments a week. So we want 3. 3 is the goal, at least. If you want a career worth having, a life worth living, Gene says if you can set 3 appointments a week, you will have that. 2 appointments a week is the least, that's our absolute bare minimum for the form of lead gen that we're selecting. So the action plan is that every agent and ISA on the team is going to select one platform of lead gen for the next 4 weeks, and we're just going to dive super deep and get really good at that one form of lead gen. What's up?
Sorry, I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Is that 2 appointments held, or a set?
Set.
Okay.
Set. At least 2 appointments set.
Okay.
A week.
3 better. That's our standard.
Three is what we want. That's what will get you to where you want to be. But he said when we were there, if it's not yielding you at least 2 appointments a week, you need to be focusing on nothing other than that one form. So if you're doing open houses and you're getting 1 appointment a week, you shouldn't be going and doing, cold calling or FISBOs or expires. You shouldn't be doing it. Because the thing that he also said is that somebody will get up in the morning, they'll call some expireds, we'll have somebody yell at them, and then they'll be like, okay, That went terrible. I feel very self-conscious about myself now. Now I'm gonna go on to for sale by owner, or now I'm gonna go into database. And we keep jumping from place to place, and we're not really getting good at that one thing.
Also the startup time as well.
Exactly, yeah, and then you have to go over to the new website, you have to download your Vulcan list, you have to do all of these things. So, at least 2 appointments a week in one form of lead gen, and then if you're not doing at least that, you shouldn't be focusing on anything else at all. That's what Gene states.
And this is outside of brevity. Because brevity,
So if a lead comes into, if a lead comes in, I think we can all agree that if a
Yeah.
lead comes into brevity, we need to be calling that. I'm saying that's not lead generating though, that's our
Okay.
follow-up.
okay, so
That's
brevity is
not,
separate.
brevity's separate, that's
Okay, just making sure.
separate, yeah. So our lead gen time, where we're going and getting outbound prospecting, I think the whole team would benefit if we selected one platform. So if Josephine says open houses,
Yep, me
she's
too.
only going to do open houses, and by open houses, I don't mean you're not allowed to go door knock the open house.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
saying, go door knock the open house and prepare, and make your open houses as good as they can be. Get as many people in there as you
Right.
possibly can,
Yeah.
stop focusing on other things.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
And then I put down there as well, mastery, the definition of mastery, control or superiority over someone or something, and then some synonyms, domination, control, command, ascendancy. Aren't those all things that we wanna do? We wanna command the market, we wanna ascend in the market, we wanna dominate the market. So let's master one thing, and then, once we do that, then you can start to look outside. And then finally, which arena will you play in? So I put some of them up there, door knocking, cold calls, for sale by owner, expireds, open house. So, I think let's take 10 minutes to think about it, and then after that, I want everybody on the team to come up, say what they're going to do for the next 4 weeks' time, and then dedicate all of their time and effort into that one thing.
You ready now?
You ready now?
You ready now?
All right,
Okay,
now.
let's do it. Okay. I find that I have more success.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Josephine Ventura, and I am bold.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Bold.
I'm gonna do open houses, and with that, it comes with door knocking, and you have to circle prospect the area.
So, but your main focus is when you're calling those people, you're gonna say, hey, this is Josephine Ventura, I'm with
Yes.
Keller Williams, I'm calling you to invite you to an open house.
Right, that's
So
exactly
open
what
house,
I'm doing.
yes, yep.
But these are the activities that help with the open.
Yep, so open
Yeah.
house is going to be your main form of actual lead gen.
Oh, touchdown.
I'll go next.
So Josephine, you're gonna do open houses, and what is your smart measurable result for that?
Setting an appointment when I,
Okay?
right? Like I
So
do
some
that.
of you are stuck on the concept of dials, contacts, appointment set, appointment held, contracts, closing. Reverse engineer that.
Okay.
Okay, nothing changes. Brandon is just trying to get you to think bigger, and he's trying to get you to understand that if you're working on the activity and getting into momentum,
Mhm.
are you doing it at the probability of losing sight on the result? And
Right.
so, how many appointments held, how many contracts, how many closings, and reverse engineer to the result. So when you're thinking of what you're going to do, because I don't want to give you this number,
Right.
I'm gonna hold open houses, and I expect to set blank amount of open houses. I expect to have blank amount of people in my open houses. I expect to have blank contracts as a result of my open houses.
Ah,
I expect
okay.
to have blank closings as a result.
Okay.
And reverse engineer that number, because then, if you do an open house, and you only had one person show up, you can go in and say, well, how did I market it?
Mhm.
When did I decide to do the open house? How many directional signs? The one person that came in, did I make them sign in? Did I follow up strategically?
Yeah.
Did I set the point? You can actually look at the metrics for that and say, where did I go wrong?
Mhm.
And fix it.
So can we take a week and gather baselines? So next Monday, they start their,
No, you establish the baselines and you hold yourself to it. And then you look and say, was it a lead gen issue or was it a lead conversion issue? Because the reality is, if Josephine says, I'm going to do open houses for 30 days, and every Thursday she says, oh, I need to go find an open house, and she goes and finds an open house on a Thursday, and she goes on a Saturday morning and puts her signs out, and she sits there in front of her open house with her store-bought $5 special cookies, and nobody shows up, is it a problem of her doing the open house? No.
No, but I can do other things.
What's the problem?
That's the
Marketing,
first part,
yes.
and then marketing.
She didn't market it.
Mhm.
okay? She didn't prepare for it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know it's not a conversion issue yet. It's still a lead gen issue.
Yes, right.
She didn't lead gen for the open house.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you, at minimum, if you're doing an open house within 7 days, you're already setting yourself up to fail. Doesn't mean you won't, you will, because if you're committed to the day,
Mm-hmm.
and you're committed to the result, you'll do an open house 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week.
We have 3 set up already.
That- So I want you to reverse engineer.
Mm,
Closings, contracts, appointments held,
right.
appointments set, nurtures, contacts, okay? That way you can figure out, am I failing at lead generation or am I failing at
And this
conversion?
isn't, and once
So-
you get the leads too, nurtures are still super important.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
that's not considered lead genning once you have
yes.
a nurture, that's
Right.
following up with your.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, I still don't see how many appointments held from the open house, and I still don't see
You wanna write down
closings.
all that?
Yeah. This is your 411
Oh
without
my
doing your
God.
411.
so,
Okay, well, do you want it by week, I guess?
This is your business.
Oh my God.
How many contracts and how many appointments held?
Okay, appointments.
Hi,
Well,
Tracy.
definitely,
Cause this is what they're gonna ask you in
I'm
bulk
gonna,
too.
we're gonna have to have three a week, cause that's the one that you want.
No, what are you gonna have?
I think I can do 2.
Uh-uh.
I am going to do 2.
Okay. Two,
Per week.
appointment,
two what?
Appointments per week.
Two appointment what per week?
2 help, 2
drop one set.
Okay, so
Appointment set.
fine, if you're gonna set 2 appointments per week, and you have a 10% conversion rate on your appointment set to appointment held, how long is it gonna be before you get another deal?
Oh my God, I don't know. So I need to have more than that?
Well, if you have.
Yeah.
Oh, cause I see what you're saying,
Yeah,
because some of them
10
could fail,
appointments.
so I need to have 10 of them, right, I need to have 10 to make at least, no, that's not even enough too, right?
Yeah,
You'll have to, you'd have to
10%.
have one, so if you wanna have 20 held.
So if you have a 10% conversion rate.
You'd have to
From
have-
appointment set to appointment held,
So
Usually
10
that's
would-
average.
because she
10 is
pisses them
usually
all off.
Wow.
She only works with the ones that'll put up with her.
10 appointments.
But they close,
10
they become
Close.
friends.
They close, they become good friends. Okay, so I need 20, jam!
No,
Oh,
No, 20 set per week.
No.
I need,
10 held to get one set.
What I
Then
want you to
count.
do, and I'm not saying you have a 10%, I want you guys to think a little bit
Yeah.
deeper here.
uh-huh,
How many appointments held? How many contracts? If you need a contract a week,
well, this is, okay, here we go,
listen,
okay, go.
if you need a contract a week,
Uh-huh,
and you know that you have a 75% contract to close ratio, a contract a week is how many a month?
4,
And one of them's gonna fall out?
so 3,
How many appointments do you need to set in order to hold, in order to have a contract, which one of them is gonna fall out?
30.
30? 30 appointments.
So are you running your numbers based on what of the business you've already done?
So really, you would want to have 40, so 10 a week.
That's a lot.
10 appointments set per week?
Sounds like that's your number.
Okay, well,
Can anybody argue me differently?
okay.
I don't know, like,
No, this is what has to happen.
That's
Break it down per day. I mean, you're in real estate full-time, guys. This is your gig. McDonald's will pay you $10 an hour. Are you committed to a bigger number?
Yeah, if you wanna make the money, you have to,
Of course you do.
right, or what's the
Most
point?
of you aren't
You're
doing
gonna-
enough in your business.
And you're right, if, just work at McDonald's, you'd be working just as much.
You make more
the
money.
Yeah.
So, is that a 10 appointment set or is that 10
I said,
appointments?
it says set,
Okay, how many appointments held per week?
I need at least 5, I want.
Held
Oh, per week,
per week.
I'd say at least 2.
2.
Why?
Held.
because some of them are gonna fall out.
You're right. Or they'll put you off, or especially, I mean, you're working against a market shift right now.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're working hard now? Ha! Ha! It's gonna get 3 to 4 times worse.
Yeah.
3 to 4 times harder to make the same amount of money.
All right, we're making this different. I gotta make charts. What? Go ahead, no, go ahead. Go
The
ahead.
team is learning off of you, so just
Okay.
understand.
Yeah,
So
okay.
write your name and write contracts below it.
Josephine,
Yeah, there's a lot of them, you know.
Okay.
You get ready to, or they don't answer,
the one thing, right? OH. Right,
Fair
am I
enough,
doing
yeah,
this?
yeah.
Am I doing this? Okay.
Good enough, fair, yep. And
Okay.
then write
Yes.
closings.
boom, look at
Closing.
And this is for a month, guys. These numbers are based on a month,
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay? And then held,
held,
Contracts.
and then set.
set,
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, no, you're right, you missed contracts in there. Under, put contracts,
over here.
yeah, contract,
Contracts,
held,
held,
I mean, it was 10 minutes.
set.
It was good for 10 minutes. Yeah.
You made it for 10 minutes.
It was pretty
And
good,
then
right,
what?
for 10 minutes?
comments, or what are we doing?
No, and then you're gonna have nurtures,
Nerd?
and then you have contacts,
Contacts? And dials?
and then
No.
lead, no,
No.
and then leads.
Leads, I'm gonna run out of.
That's all that really matters.
Okay, so here I am. And what did I say?
So you're gonna do how many closings do you want a month?
I want two,
2 closings a month, so right, 2 closings a month.
okay?
So based off of the metrics that we just talked about, because I don't think she's far off at a 10% contact to
Okay.
close, I don't think she's far off.
Okay.
How many contracts does she need to have in a month in order to close 2?
3. 20.
I need three contracts.
Yeah.
Three
Okay.
contracts.
Yeah, because you always have to round up. So if you would have said, 3 closings, I would have said 4.
Oh, yeah. You got one up.
But you gotta round up. Okay,
Yeah.
so now how many helps does she have to have?
Now, this is where you gotta.
Six?
by 10.
3 contracts, I'd say probably 6 or 7 health
That's what I said,
appointments.
6.
Why?
At
Because some of them
50%
fall out.
conversion rate.
Talking about your business.
Because sometimes when you can hold it.
How many appointments have you held and how many of those appointments have gone to contract?
Well, I've got a lot of BBAs. But the
Now
point
you
is
realize
that-
the value of the
Yes.
BBA.
So.
If you ever run out of Charmin, go see Josephine.
I have a lot of
She's
BBAs,
got some
but the problem is
BBAs.
I can't find them houses, so that's why things fall out toward the end,
No,
you know,
low conversion rate.
low conversion. So how many do I have to hold?
How many appointments have you held in the last 30 days? And give me a
I
number.
think I got 10.
Okay, and how many contracts have you signed off of 10 held appointments?
3,
Okay,
okay.
use those numbers. So 3 contracts, 10 appointments.
30%.
Well, 10 appointments held?
Yeah,
Okay,
because that's a number you can at least use. We're not
Yeah.
pulling it out of our
yeah,
behind.
okay,
So that means how many appointments do you have to set?
double that, so 20.
Is it double? Are you a 50% conversion rate? Are you that good?
No, I'm not that good.
Okay.
Okay, so,
50% conversion rate from set to health?
no, I'm not, yeah,
From set to
no,
health.
I'd say
No.
that's about accurate.
no.
Did we
20.
say 20?
Maybe I should do 30, 30.
Are we talking about a week or a month here?
This is a month. These are numbers for a month.
So isn't it 40?
Times
Are you a 25% conversion rate?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think you're lower.
Okay. So I need to go like 60,
Okay?
because that's 10 per, wow.
I
But no, but this is a
I would
reality
be
check for all of
realistic,
us.
yeah.
I mean,
You don't
this
want
is
to. You don't want to
serious.
hold 60 appointments. Have better conversations with
You're
the
not
ones
gonna
you
make
hold.
it to everywhere you're gonna go if you don't do this reality check, so.
Yeah, it-
Well, cause at the
But
end
you
of the
wanna
day,
be
the only
realistic
number
too.
that matters
Okay.
is the
So in
last.
order to set
Yeah.
60 appointments, how many people need to be in your pipeline as a nurture? Because are you going to be able to? Are you going to be able to?
No.
Are you going to be able to lead gen 60 sets a month?
I'm gonna have to do that,
That's 15 a week.
I just don't wanna set.
That's
the
setting 15 appointments a week.
yeah.
That's doable. Are you doing it?
Will be.
No,
I
it's
can't
not,
even
no,
set
the
15
reality is
appointments
it's
a week.
not.
Yeah,
And I know people.
When
who know
they're
people who know
FISBOs.
people.
I'll set them, I don't know
Well, you
about
know, if you
holding
were
them.
to go look at our CTEs now, none of us do it.
So how many do you need to nurture?
How does
Two
that, how do I
closings,
figure
I'd
that?
say probably 5 to 10.
5 to 10 nurture per month?
So 120?
If you're looking at 2 closings, I'd say 5 to 10 nurtures.
Oh,
I'll put
okay,
10.
I got you.
Okay, put 10.
This is 10 nurtures a month,
Yeah.
okay?
And if you get super focused on your open houses and really
But that's the
really
point, open
prepare
houses,
for them,
you can't
you're gonna
do
get
it.
a lot of people that are gonna come through them.
yeah.
Well, like the last one, I did it within a
Yeah,
week.
and you got 2.
I got two
I mean,
now.
on one day, you got 2 nurtures.
Right.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah. So
I
it's
think your
possible.
nurtures are low,
Yeah,
I think they're low,
oh, this number?
10 nurtures,
Yeah.
Because if I get 2 per
I
open
think you need
house,
10 nurtures a week,
Really?
yes,
let's say
Two
30.
closings?
10 nurtures.
Okay, so we gotta do 40.
Nurtures.
Nurtures are gonna be long-term, she's building the database of nurtures.
Yes.
So 40.
So
we
they
make
could
it
be
So this week,
3 to
like,
6 months out.
the open house, like,
We
we
have
got
3
like
open
4.
houses set, and let's say we just do like 2 nurtures for each one. That's 60, and maybe some from the lead.
Yeah, like I
regular
got
or
4
something.
nurtures this week.
Okay, all right, I
And
can,
how many nurtures did you get the week before that?
Another 4.
How many did you get the week before that?
I don't remember.
okay, so
No.
yeah, okay, so this kind
So
of.
I'm working with them.
So,
Yeah.
I think you need more nurtures,
Mhm.
okay?
More than
Okay.
40?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
This is, or no, this, oh, this.
I do.
I'll send you.
cause you gotta go against, you have to go against the market too, guys.
Okay,
And then how many contacts?
oh my god. But when I do open houses, they're really
That's
good. They're
considered
really good
contacts.
Fine. There's a method to this, and we're gonna talk about it.
Okay,
But how many contacts do you need to make?
So if they're coming to an open house,
If they're coming out,
they're
open
actively
house.
looking, so you can get 50 contacts to 50
Yeah,
nurtures
for the-
if you do it right.
Yeah.
Provided you
stay on.
marketed the open house properly, you had great conversations at the open house had a nice
I
property.
would say 100,
Yes,
There you go.
there you go. Because 50, then might be like, oh, I have a realtor,
okay.
50%, right?
And in order to have a contact,
I need to have leads.
how many leads?
Oh, shit.
I know.
But the leads
Okay,
come,
wait.
That's
Well,
100.
I
That's
say
100.
is-
If you're in an open house.
but the leads could come from door knocking, cold calling.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But here's what you have to understand.
Mhm.
If you hit 100 contacts for the week and you only had, 1 help, can you still hit 2 closings?
Mhm.
You can. You
Okay,
can.
okay.
So when you reverse engineer and you have realistic numbers,
Mhm.
now you can have better conversations. Now you can increase your conversion, say, you know what, I'm not gonna have 100 contacts, there's no way I can do it this week. So who in my database have I been neglecting that I need to talk to today because I'm committed to 2 closings? I'm committed to 3 appointments held, or 3 contracts.
Yeah.
So who do I know in my system can I get a contract from?
Right.
Because when shit hits the fan and you've effed off for the week,
Mhm.
you can go to your metrics and say, all right,
Here's my people.
I need to get the fat out of the way, and I need to go find somebody today that's going to write a contract for me.
Okay.
And you can,
Mhm.
but let's say you don't have anybody. You also know I can take the whole day and I can make 100 contacts.
Mhm.
So I just want you all to be very clear on the different metrics to get you where you want to go. If you focus on 100 contacts all day long and you're like, oh, well, I don't need any of them to write an offer because that's not the job today, they're never going to write an offer. If you constantly hold 10 appointments a week, a month, and you don't ask anybody for the business, are you committed to the appointments or are you committed to the contracts? I've been on appointments with some of you where you've never asked for the business. You've never asked for the business. And I've been on appointments with some of you where you ask for the business before they even know your name. So when you're putting this together, because I think that Brandon is onto something,
Yeah,
this is my pillar of business.
Right.
I'm going to do open houses.
mhm.
That's me. I'm the open house agent. I
Right.
do that.
I know
Yeah.
Professional.
everything about open houses. I know how to do them at the highest level. I know how to convert at the highest level. I am the open house goddess, and I am committed to 2 closings from my open house.
Okay.
And then you back into how many contracts have I written this month as a
Mhm.
result of my open houses? How many appointments have I held as a result of my open houses? How many appointments have I set as a result of my open house?
Mhm.
And when you know you have to hit these numbers in and of themselves,
Mhm.
your conversations will be different on the phone.
Right.
Hey, I have this open house, it's priced right, looks good, we've got interest rates going up. Please come by and meet me at my open house, I wanna know everybody in my neighborhood. That's a different conversation than just
Right.
inviting, it's a beautiful 4-bedroom, 3-bath house and it's got orange
Do you know
cabinetry.
interested? Do you know anyone else who's buying here? Yeah, okay.
Because you're now also committed to holding appointments,
Right,
okay?
yeah,
Is that doable?
yeah,
Are you
I
committed
think
to it?
so.
How many a week?
Divided by 4.
How many open houses?
I said 3 per week because I wanna spend time to do the.
So at 3 per
Yeah.
week,
Door
if you don't have, at 3 per week,
Uh-huh.
7 days from today, if you don't have, 4 held appointments, 15 set appointments, at least 1 contract, what are you doing?
Increasing
What?
my open houses.
Good for you. 2 claps.
I
That's the
wanted
job.
this
That's the job. It doesn't matter. You will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It
You'll
doesn't.
do whatever it takes to hit those closings. And if
Right.
by week 1 you don't have a closing, you're going back and saying, well, then how many contracts did I write? And if
Right.
week 1 you haven't written a contract, you're going, well, how many appointments have I held?
And
And
then
at the end of week 1, if you haven't held any appointments, you're saying, well, how many have I set?
Right, and then if I have to increase this, I adjust
You
my
increase
schedule.
your activity.
You're gonna be.
So like
very
in the
busy
morning, I do door knocking and then come back and do the open houses in the afternoon.
Why
or
aren't you
something
doing
like
7 open houses a week to
that.
hit
I
your?
have children, Craig.
Take them with you.
I take them.
I mean,
Okay,
if
well,
you're
okay,
really,
you
if
know
you're
what?
committed
This
to
is a
it,
challenge then, I'm gonna do 4.
good.
Okay.
Ooh. Next.
Alright,
I'm like, I'm with you. Probably gonna.
Bring my kids.
Four open
And you know what? If you write 2 contracts in week 1, what do you get?
If I write, what?
2 contracts in week 1, what do you get?
I'm gonna end up with 8 at the end of the month.
Or
Or
vacation.
I'm going to spend time with my family.
I'm gonna spend time with my family.
You've earned it.
I'm get to go on the Disneyland cruise
Good
ship.
for you.
2 class for Josephine.
Okay,
Okay.
Alright, Connor.
so my pillar will be farm. Can I put farm?
Yeah. I was gonna, I just was looking at it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
farming.
farming.
More specific.
Door knocking. Farming, door knocking. But.
Inspirata
it's-
Farm.
Oh, okay. Oh, that, so you mean.
I want you to be as super hyper focused as possible.
Inspirata, I thought you meant like one of these. Okay, Inspirata Farm.
And price point?
$460 for,
Resale?
resale and $560 for new build.
Write it on there. Because Inspirata is a big area.
Oh, it is.
That's what you need, right?
$560.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't have very good handwriting.
It's all right.
Okay,
So now, Inspirata Farming, 460 retail, 560 new construction. How many closings for the month?
3.
Okay?
3, and
Okay,
then
we don't do
it goes
nothing
4
here.
contracts.
Yeah, let's go.
4 contracts.
Okay? Help them out, guys.
Oh. Okay.
How many helps?
How many?
The month.
3 closings?
3 closings.
4 contracts, 3
Cash
closings.
deals coming up, hopefully. And so 4 contracts, so I have 5 in the last, 5 held in the last month, maybe.
And how many sets to get the helps?
So I don't, these are gonna be, this is a little bit different because the sets and held for farming come a lot easier than they do cold calling.
Well, I think what I'm hearing you say is I'm not that good at tracking my activities yet,
Yes.
which is why we put everything into CTE, even when it's irrelevant. So that answers your question.
Okay.
Do I still put into CTE my contacts? Absolutely.
Okay.
Because when everything else fails, we can go back and look at all of our activity.
But we're not using that as something to judge how we did.
Yes.
Correct,
You get what I'm
correct.
Yeah, it's
That's-
just tracking.
That's not the
Yes,
success.
It's a GPS tracking
Mhm.
measure. Okay, so for 4 closings, I'm farming.
I'd say 10 or 11.
3 closings
Or, 3 closings.
at a
4
25% fallout rate, which means you have to have 4 under contract.
Mhm.
And in order to get 4 under contract, how many appointments do you have to hold? How many appointments have you held?
5,
And how many of those appointments have gone to contract?
0.
Okay, so you have an O to 5. So let's say you have a 10% conversion rate.
Oh, he is. He just closed the deal.
Okay, I mean, it's his numbers, not
But
mine.
That was before, we're in a month.
Doesn't, no, you're talking about in general.
Yeah, I'm talking about in general.
He's not talking about in the last month. So you have a closed deal. Yes.
You have another one that's closing.
Yeah, so.
You have another one that's going under contract listing this week.
Wait, I have a list.
What's the one you're closing soon?
Pueblo. And then I still have a listing agreement signed, I just don't know, the client won't answer my phone.
So add all that up. So that's activity in the last 30 days.
Yes, so
Okay.
now we're 2 listings and a closing for 5 appointments.
Okay.
So that's, what is that,
I'd say,
60%?
I'd say 10.
Okay.
I'd still say 10.
Okay, 10%.
Yeah, so that means you have, in order to have 4 of them go to contract, you need to have how many appointments held in the month?
40.
Really? You think it's that much, Craig?
Hey, if he doesn't want it to be that much, have better conversations.
So I am more,
Christine,
I'm
Christine
more worried
Orban's
about this,
conversion.
this number.
40
But-
held.
I get what you're saying.
But I'm more worried about that
It's
number.
his conversion, not mine.
No, I
We
get
think
that.
our conversion's higher than it really is, guys, it's not.
But
They're
I've
the
been here for
four.
what, 3 weeks?
I'm a 60% conversion rate,
Right?
60.
Of course.
Yeah.
Some of you are in the single digits with a point in front of it.
What?
So
Oh.
I'd rather come back next week and adjust these numbers and say, oh my gosh, I set these, I held these, I got a contract, and then change the numbers,
Ah.
than to think that we're better than we are.
No, because this is the most important number out of them all.
You're right.
So however.
I
I
no
agree
matter-
100%. So 3 closings, 25% fallout rate, 40 held, 4 contracts. I don't think that you're outside the realm. Do I think it's a little low? Yeah, but I got nothing to go off of.
Because the only thing I'm seeing that's different here is you've got 10 held for Josephine and 40 held for Connor for one more closing.
Because Josephine gets out in front of people more than Connor does.
But he's saying he's gonna go door knock.
I know, but he doesn't have any
I don't
results
have- yeah,
yet.
don't
I got
have
nothing on him.
Well,
Yeah.
you
You're
sunk
right.
your teeth into.
You're right. Okay.
Josephine just pisses them all off.
They just run
And make
away.
them-
But they'll let her meet with them.
Yeah.
They'll meet with her.
He's seen it in action on Saturday.
They'll meet with her.
Yeah. Okay.
But then the ones that she converts, they're with her for life, like now they're family.
She's related to the other agent.
Alright, so sets to held. So I'm going to assume your sets to held is higher.
Yes.
Because when you do get in front of people and you do get on the phone with them, you have really good conversations with
Yes.
people. So you don't piss them off. You don't.
They're willing to meet.
So I'm gonna think that you're somewhere between a 50% based off of your numbers. With my influence, you're probably a 50% set to held,
Okay, so 80 sets.
okay?
Oh my god.
For a month.
This is for a month.
That's 20 sets a week.
No,
I mean,
wow.
yeah, no, yeah.
That would be nice to see on the
Okay,
board.
so now how many
You wanna
nurtures?
go
Yeah.
Um,
So nurtures are people that say, yes, I'm gonna buy or sell between now and then and never. And you can put in your database something to do next. Either I'm gonna go back and see you, I'm gonna send you something every month, some sort of measurable to do. That's what constitutes a nurture.
Okay,
The contact is the conversation, the nurture is the action.
okay.
You will get a lot of nurtures door knocking if you have a great script. They don't think you're gonna sell your home out from underneath them. They'll let you come back, they'll let you send them things. That's a nurture.
Use what Gene has.
so if I have 80 sets, I'm talking to 80 people, so I should have at least 80 nurtures.
Yeah, your nurtures are gonna be long-term.
That's true.
We don't know what percentage of your nurtures will convert to sets. We don't know that.
So I just have to pull a number out of the air.
You need to make sure you're feeding your database every single day with X amount of nurtures. And then systematically
if you
communicating
do-
with them.
If you're door knocking every day,
You're door knocking every single day,
for 3 hours a day, or 15 hours a week.
okay?
So whatever that constitutes, let's just say 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Okay?
You're talking to how many? I mean,
So you just said 15 hours.
a week.
If somebody's working in their business 15 hours, what do you wanna pull from that? If you're working 15 hours, what do you wanna pull from that?
Nurtures?
Just,
Just in general.
if I'm on the phone for 15 hours, I know what I expect to get out of it. If I'm door knocking for 15 hours, I know what I'm expecting to get out of it.
That's a question for Connor.
If I'm going to an event for 15 hours, I know what I'm expecting to get out of it. So what do you wanna get out of door knocking 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, or 15 hours a week?
So out of 15, I think 10 nurtures, 15 hours.
Okay? And you door knocked, so you already have some analytics.
Yeah,
When you door knocked, what's the longest you've ever door knocked?
about an hour.
Okay, and what's the highest result you've ever gotten from that?
15 answers.
Okay,
And then
so that, you're going based off of something you've already done.
Yes.
So write it down.
So 15 a week times 4,
Fine.
660.
But are those nurtures?
Those are nurtures, yeah, those are people that are like, yeah, if the circumstances were right, we would do something with you between this time and this time. Okay, and then contacts. So this is how many people open the door.
I would like to have a higher number open the door with 3 hours a day,
What's the highest you've ever had?
the 15.
Okay,
But that was only an hour a day, so then you times that
and
by
did you
3.
nurture all those people that opened the door?
No. I didn't
Okay.
even, I didn't put them in a database.
So I think your 60 is contacts. Okay. And I think your nurtures are lower.
So we could do 40.
2/3? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
2/3 tell you a
So you
year
have a
from now.
66, you have a 66% conversion rate from contact to nurture.
Say that.
And I think you could, because you're a naturally nice, warm, non-threatening person. So I believe you, if you can get them to open the door, you can have a great conversation with them.
So 2/3.
I think that's okay.
I think 2/3 would be good.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody see, what are the holes? Does anybody see any obstacles with this? He's farming, Inspirata, 460 resale, 560 new construction, which means he's not door knocking condos and townhomes and things like that.
Until I get information on that.
What's, I think, setting that many appointments is gonna be tough. Especially if
No,
you're
it's,
just
no,
door
it's
knocking?
not.
Oh, okay.
It's really not. I mean, cause an appointment is a time and date.
That is correct. But
So-
hopefully you will learn through time and date, you need to have great appointments, and so your conversion will go up.
Yes. But in a door knocking situation, the appointment set is a lot.
Oh, you could even just be going up to their house, I'll meet you back here at this time.
That is correct. Okay. Anybody, anything?
Nope, looks good.
We're holding them accountable to it?
Yeah.
By the way, you have to do yours for 4 months, so you need to write that in there. Because farming is not a 30-day experience.
Okay.
He has to
It's gonna be
talk,
long.
he has to talk to the farm 4 times a year, so he's gonna talk to everybody now, establish his farm, and then he has to go back in 4 months and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't be able to really give us really good information
Mhm.
until he's gone with, he's gone through a 3-month cycle.
All right, sweet. Thank you, Connor. 2 claps. All right, John.
Okay. My farm is going to be for sale by owners.
Okay. That's your name. Your name is there.
Oh, is it?
He's Fizbo John.
I am.
Oh, John.
All right, hold on. There we go. Okay. I want 3 closings,
Okay,
then under contract per month. I want 7, because I like that number.
oh yeah, because that's a measurable result.
Just because you like it.
That's
Held.
hell of a-
Okay.
7 days in a week, 7 working hours in a day, 7 different sandwiches on Chiba Hut's menu. Tell me.
Lucky 7.
What's the 7?
It's just my lucky number. I'm putting 7 up here.
Is it really lucky?
For me, it is, yeah.
Should we maybe think about changing your number?
7
Put like a 0 at the end.
7 days a week in your real estate business?
Yeah.
All right, so 7 contracts.
Held per month.
All right. Here's the thing, you hold a lot of appointments. In fact, you hold more appointments than anybody else on the team.
I'm in the middle of a meeting. Can I call you back at 12:30?
And so therefore, I'm going to assume
I'll
that
call
you
you right
set
back.
more appointments as well. Although, how many of your appointments held go to contract?
Not many.
So in this experience, we're really trying to identify for you a higher level of conversion. Because you go on a lot of appointments. So now you're going to focus on FSBOs. FSBOs are a what and not a what?
Easy appointment, hard to list.
Yeah. So I'm going to encourage you to go on a lot of appointments.
Craig, what do you think about what Gene said, though?
We don't keep in a systematic relationship with them. so that when they raise their hand, we're the only people around them.
So do you think that that needs to happen?
Yes. I
Okay.
think that he will contact them once in a while. He will try to give them value. When they shut him down, he moves on to something else. You're not somebody who alienates your FSBOs. You try to keep in contact with them. But you're quick to let them tell you no, and you're like, okay. And I think that the value proposition isn't as high as it can be.
Okay.
So we really want to focus on the third, fourth, and fifth boxes for you.
So, question on,
Yes.
for the 60 helds, so with that, is he recounting each time he goes back?
No.
Because the
No.
way Gene,
No.
Because Gene was saying, because
You
what Gene
keep
said,
10
this
in-
is what really stood out to me with Gene, and that really spoke to me. So his guy that he says does only
10.
for sale owners does 10.
Yeah.
And
He,
then
he-
when
no,
one
he
fall-
nurtures 10 at a time.
so then
Yes.
but he's not doing over 10, is
But
from
he
what I
puts
understand.
No,
full
he didn't
attention.
say that.
He puts full attention into 10 FSBOs though.
Yes.
I know for a fact that's what he was saying.
Yes.
The minute one lists or one chooses that,
Yeah,
that's
done,
for sure
then
not happening,
replace it.
he adds a new one into the 10. He
Right.
only manages 10 at a time. Because if you go any more than 10, I think you're not gonna be able to systematically stay in contact.
So then that would be your nurture.
So 10 nurtures.
If you chose to
Do that,
what
because-
Gene's guy's doing.
Because the way I was
I
talking
think
is
that
60
would-
helds is if you're only focusing on 10 a week, each week you're systematically touching them, hey, can I come over and drop this off? Are you able to hold 60 appointments?
No, you're not.
No.
So then that's, okay. So then that's a number that is there, you just have to get better at.
Personally, I think John would benefit much more from having 10 that he's staying in contact with. Okay. Because you will be able to systematically stay in touch with those. And if you
Instead of
like
being overwhelmed.
if you sit down and say, hey, these 10 people are getting all of my attention, I think you'll have a much better chance of converting them. Because if you're just throwing stuff into the pot all the time,
You
you're
don't know
kind of
what to
you're
work.
losing. Your
Okay.
things are slipping through the cracks.
So what would you recommend? Because we talked about Gene's thing already before today.
I get what you're saying now.
What would you recommend John do to fill up his boxes here for 30 days?
Okay, so for held,
You do the first.
all 10, you need to hold an appointment with all 10 of them. And I'd probably add some on top of that as well, because you're gonna go to some appointments that are just gonna suck completely, and you're not gonna have any sort of spark with them, with
Right.
some of them.
So you need at least 10 held appointments to
At
get you
least
through
10.
to get you through the first week, right?
In fact, I'd double that for the month.
I would double the sets.
The sets, double the sets, but once you get to held, then after 10 helds, then where do you go from there? Because then that 10 held could be your
Are
nurtures.
one of the 10s worthy of going into his 10 a month bucket?
Yes.
Or his, his
Yeah.
10 boxes?
Because that bucket will fill up quickly, and then, it's just a matter of, and this is open for conversation, so what do you guys think? Do you think that, because there's two different ways you can approach it. It can just be the first 10 that fill the bucket, and you're like, these are my 10. Or
You can choose.
you hold a ton, and then you pick the 10 best, and then you're like, these are my 10.
I like that.
So for me, I would hold a bunch and see who self-selects.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just go
That's
at.
my personality. John doesn't share that personality though. John's kind of an all or nothing guy in
So-
his mindset.
So yeah, I
So the
think
first
I agree.
10.
So I think the first 10 that you set and hold, those are your 10 FSBOs, and I think we should sit
If they
down,
fall apart, you can go and add some more.
and I think you should sit down with Craig, me, or anybody, and really come up with a game plan of and really even write it down on a piece of paper. Okay, so day 2 of me, after holding the appointment with the FSBO, I'm going to send them this, I'm going to call them, I'm going to say this. Day 5, after talking to them,
Like
I'm going to send them this.
A drip
But-
campaign where
and
I'm
that-
the.
But you're
the
actually
drip.
setting it out and you're actually doing it, you're not dripping it.
And I
You
think
know,
the-
I mean, like,
Yeah, I get what you're
I'm
saying.
the drip.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey,
Yes.
here's the thing.
And I think the most important part of that was Gene, what I took from is it wasn't offering an open house. You're just offering to help them in certain ways.
To sell their home.
Yeah.
You're,
Help
and you're
them
not,
sell
yeah,
their home.
you're helping to sell their home by themselves.
You
Actually,
literally I recorded it too.
I wrote it
Yeah.
down.
And I
But-
recorded the whole thing.
Yes.
You're helping them sell their home by themselves, and by default, if they ever decide to list, they default right back to you, or you help them buy another home, or vice versa.
Yeah, I
Because
think
we
you
know that
stop
they're not, except for a few rarities, they're not gonna sell their home themselves.
Mhm.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna
I
listen
think-
to somebody, and it's gonna be me.
I think you stop asking for open houses.
Yes, according to, cause I think even someone asked
He
that.
said no.
Ah.
He
Yeah,
said he
Gene,
doesn't.
at the Gene Rivers, actually,
No.
someone asked Gene,
I disagree.
but
I think
Gene,
an open house would be a good opportunity, one, because open houses are not a waste of time. If I
You get some
strategically
business
pick,
from that.
if I strategically pick my open houses and maybe partner up with you guys who are gonna be focusing on open houses,
I think, so then
You're
you're
not
setting
gonna be-
open.
You're not going to be prepping as much as you should be for your open house.
So you
No,
continue
not
on
me, I'm
FISBOs
saying
and
I
set
can-
open houses for other people.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, so they need open houses.
Yeah.
So Gene,
And I need them to be passed.
so Gene, no, you don't. Gene's mindset was, I'm not going to do things for you to get the listing. I'm going to do things for you because I expect you to go and buy another home, either here or somewhere else.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna be very clear with you, Mr. and Mrs. Fisbo. Yes, I'm gonna get something out of it. I'm just not gonna get something out of it from you today. So I'm going to go ahead and be your agent. And you're not gonna pay me jack diddly here. And every week, we're gonna get on the phone. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do for your market. I'm gonna send you the comps of what's going on. You're gonna give me the feedback. In essence, I'm gonna be your real estate coach to help you sell your home yourself.
Okay.
So it's a mind shift of what you're currently doing. I wanna give them value until they do decide to list, and then they're gonna list with me. And Gene's perception is, I'm going to establish up front, on my very first contact with you, if you sell your home, what are you doing? And they say, oh, well, we're gonna move. Do you already have an agent working with you to help you buy your home? No, great, you're one of my 10. So we have to get really clear in the beginning.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Because that's what Gene was saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're moving somewhere in town, I'd love to help you, so I'm gonna help you sell your house, so when this sells, I'll help you find a new house. If you're moving out of state, I'm going to refer you to somebody if I help you sell. If somebody comes into your house and they don't like your house, I call those leads, those are very important to me. If I help you sell your house, you will then give me those leads. And if you get tired of selling your house yourself, I'll help you sell it. Because
That's
what
it.
is. That's it.
And if they agree to all of that, that's your 10.
But it's okay for him to hold like an open house.
Yeah,
too,
that's-
no?
So if they come to him and say, well, okay, well, you know, we don't have traffic and blah, 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 you as a real estate agent might say, you know what? We might need to do an open house. Are you okay with it? But you're not doing the open house to get the listing.
Right.
You're doing an open house to help them sell their house themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And open houses
And,
aren't the best way to
and,
sell houses.
and if
Right.
they are offering a
Yeah,
broker
whatever.
broker
That's not
agreement
what he's
too.
focusing on.
'Cause I mean,
That's him as a real estate coach to help you sell your home yourself.
I like the
And
real
if I
estate
bring you a
coach
buyer,
thing.
You eliminate
That
it.
sounds nice.
Just out of curiosity.
I'm not limiting, I'm just trying to get super focused
Sure.
on something.
I
Now-
understand that, but like,
but-
that's not limiting him to do something else that could help his business.
I think it would help if,
If he's doing
everyone-
open house and
But
get more
the
clients.
whole thing about this is to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
If I
Yes,
add
exactly.
another thing.
So I think, the tool would be, or the strategy would be the open house, but I guess your goal would be, specifying on FISBOs, right? I guess you could use the open house as a tool or a strategy.
So the reason why I would like to throw some open houses in there is just extra value to them, that we're here to help you.
Yeah.
And if they need open houses and they're gonna be focusing on so many open houses, then why not throw in one FISBO?
So if they ask you for it and it's after you've had a conversation with them, then maybe.
But don't come with
Calling
that
the FISBO and
approach.
saying, hey, are you willing to let us hold an open house for you? Can I come over and meet you? That's different, because that's your initial contact, you're calling them for the open house. Don't use that as a way to get in the door.
So it was just said, we have to get extremely laser pointed focus on what it is we're doing.
Mhm.
The universe can't help you guys grow your business and grow your life and grow your family and all that if you're not extremely clear on what you're doing. How many in this room by show of hands were at Gene Rivers' event? At what time did he say that those 7 pendings were from listing the open houses?
none.
He didn't.
Oh, he did.
He didn't. He said, my 2.5-year agent is managing 10 FISBOs and he's got 7 pendings. So you have to be very clear. How many closings?
3
Where are they coming from?
FISBOs.
How?
Prospecting the FISBO, like
Nope.
I'm calling them.
Is it the FSBO listing their house with you, or is it the FSBO going and finding a buyer, a property to buy, and you represent it?
I would say a little bit of both. I don't know what the conversion will be about.
How many of those are gonna be open houses finding another buyer, and the buyer going and finding another house? 0?
Well, I wouldn't.
0?
I guess so, because I'm not gonna be holding the open houses.
What you focus on expands. What you focus on. It doesn't mean you don't have opportunities that come in. It doesn't mean that. This is what I'm focusing on. I've got 10 FSBOs that will always stay full, and I will coach them through selling their home themselves. And if they ever need to list with an agent, I will list with them, and I will close them their homes. And when they close their homes themselves, I will go and I'll find them a home and go under contract.
I'd say there's definitely gonna be more of that.
That is your focus. So I do completely disagree that you do an open house to try to get more leads. I have no doubt that you will do open houses. I have no doubt that you will get leads. You never focused on it. It was a byproduct of helping the FSBO sell his home himself.
Right.
That's all it was.
Correct.
I have no doubt that Connor is going to eventually get a deal from somebody who's in a condo at $180,000 in Inspirado. But Connor is focusing on $460,000 resale, $560 new construction. But because he was so focused on what he was doing, he got into business with somebody who says, oh, my son needs to sell his condo and he lives up in front. Great, I'll go and meet with him. Great, I'll go list his home. But he never focused on it.
Right.
Okay,
This
so
is
I
a
just want us
it's a
to get,
byproduct.
I want us to get really clear on our focus.
Okay.
Okay, and if you're gonna follow Gene Rivers, I'm gonna help you sell your home yourself, and I'm gonna get paid when I find you a home, because I'm not even in front of you if you didn't say that. If you didn't tell me that you're buying another home in Las Vegas or somewhere else, you're not even one of my 10.
Right.
You're not even one of my 10.
So part of it's gonna be qualifying them as well.
Yeah, what happens when you get to cherry pick a higher converted client versus what you're doing right now?
That's good.
Okay?
And get excited about that, 'cause that's fun, you know?
Let's go.
That's cool.
I like FSBOs. I'm gonna do good.
And you're gonna be a busy man working 10 for sale by owners. Like, if you really get clear about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis to
Help them.
love on these people and get super, and I like, develop a system. You know, I'm gonna call them 5 days in and I'm gonna let them know that I just pulled a comparative market analysis for their area. And then you send 10 CMAs out that afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're doing that for all of them. And you're spending time preparing for the next point of contact every day.
Mhm.
Like, really get super focused on that, you know? Because you'll be super busy. Like, if you're really going to take the time to nurture 10 people and do it properly, you're gonna be very busy, 100%.
Okay, cool. I'm getting more clarity as we go.
Okay, sets. So you changed your helds to what?
40.
Okay, I would encourage you to adjust that to maybe 15 helds,
Okay.
because then you're going to pipeline 10 of those.
Okay.
You're
yeah,
gonna go
right.
meet, you're gonna go, you know what, we're not a good relationship, so
Okay.
that's a 25%,
Okay.
so I would do 15.
Okay, 15 sounds good.
Okay, and then nurtures, or I'm sorry, sets.
30.
Okay, fair enough.
50%.
Nurtures, this goes back to your pipeline of X.
If I'm holding 15, I'm getting 15 nurtures. That's my goal. I intend
So
to
you're going
make
to
them a
nurture 15 FSBOs at a time.
10.
Yeah, 10. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But then, okay, yep, 10.
Okay.
10.
And then contacts.
Probably 60 or 70 to get.
This
the
is for the month?
set.
For the month.
For the month. You're only calling for sale by owners. To set those, how many set appointments? 30?
30, yeah.
How many contacts is it going to take you to set 30 appointments? For sale by owners only?
75.
75?
I know it's a random number, but
It's got a 7 in it.
I think you're in the right range.
yeah, okay, let's 75.
Okay.
Because like we said, for sale banners are easy appointments.
Yes.
All right. Anybody have anything they want to add, subtract to that?
What do you think, Craig? Yeah?
I think that your contacts, nurtures, and sets are a little out there right now, only because we don't have something in-house that I can pull against.
Yeah.
I like the idea of focusing on 10. I like the idea of getting extremely clear. Those 10 are going to go to contract. Are they gonna go to contract as a FSBO, or are they gonna go to contract as a buy?
Okay.
Either way, they no longer become one of my 10 once they're under contract.
And then you're instantly filling that spot in with the next best thing.
Okay.
So I like that, because I can get my teeth into that.
So while I have, so once I work up to my 10 nurtures, am I not focusing on more FSBOs until one of my 10 nurtures falls out?
That's correct. So you don't even, so be very careful who you allow into your 10.
Right, okay, yes,
Guard that.
totally.
Yeah, and that's going to teach you to have better conversations and convert at a higher level, because what did I say your biggest problem was? Conversion.
And bold,
So-
who's taking bold too, by the way?
First one?
Bold's gonna really, like, the accountability for this is gonna be great.
Yeah, so when bold does happen,
Josephine, did I see your hand up?
what
I'm
happens?
going to the one.
What happens?
You
What
said the
happens
whole
to
thing.
our numbers though? Like, will they allow
Oh.
door knocking numbers?
You just turn everything that you're learning through bold into your one thing. Nothing changes. Yes, they might have you on some expireds,
One day.
but you just turn it.
Okay, and then just go.
Yeah.
So
You
then,
just turn it to how does that affect me and my business?
okay,
Okay?
got it. Understood.
All right, 2 claps.
All right, good job. Fernanda, let's do it.
I know. All right.
So next week,
Yes.
when we have our team meeting, I want to take 10 minutes and I want to report. We're gonna pull from CTE and all that, but I want people to, and I want to talk about, well, I didn't hit this and this is why. So you better have the reasons why you're not hitting something, so that we can coach through that as a team. So you're doing open houses.
Sis. Sis.
Okay.
Okay.
How many?
So for closing, okay, I never closed anything yet, so
Okay.
I would expect at least 2.
Okay.
I don't know.
I-
Like, oh,
Just do it.
I mean, our team standard is 1 a month, so you're a month behind.
yes.
So I agree with the 2, because at
Okay.
least you and I are in a good place if you hit 2.
Okay, contracts, so to get 2, probably I need what,
4.
4?
4. 4,
Do
3.
4.
3 or 4.
Let's do 4.
You know what?
Let's do 4.
You can
You're
never
going in
hurt by
bold,
having
so let's
one
do
too
4.
many.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
Because the worst case that'll happen is if you're doing that and we're focusing on your conversion, you'll close 3 instead of 2.
Yeah. I was gonna say 4 if you weren't, but you have the team supporting you, so you could go 3. 4.
and appointments held, right? So I'm expecting like at least what, 10?
Per month.
Because,
Per month?
because like,
So for 4 contracts, 15?
I think that you are somewhere, so you have great conversations with people.
Well,
The reason why you're converting at a low level, in my opinion, is because you don't have the confidence internally because of your language. And when you're intentional, people understand you just fine.
Yeah.
You have that's your problem.
yeah,
That's nobody else's. You sit down at the table, you've got a high enough D that you're having great conversations with people. You're the one doubting your language.
yeah.
That's you. Does anybody disagree with me?
no.
Does anybody have a problem understanding what Fernanda says?
No.
Only Fernanda.
Only for.
Yep.
I understand.
So your conversion rate is low because of you. I would encourage you to have somewhere between 12 and 15 appointments held
Okay.
until you realize that you know what you're doing and you have a great team and you do communicate just fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna put 12 in.
Good.
So appointment set, I'll probably,
Right now, you have a high appointment set to held ratio right now.
cause yeah, like last
You don't
month.
set too many and you don't hold too many, but you do have a high conversion. So I would encourage you to double that. So 24 sets to 12 hells. Because I think what you'll find is you'll hold more than 12.
Okay. Nurture, like, this, like, the whole month, I probably, like, with my open house, I did like 16.
Okay? How many people in the last 30 days have you added to the database?
Over 16?
660?
No, 16. 1 6,
16.
yeah.
Okay? So you have 16 nurtures.
Like, I know, actually, I add more people from database.
Okay, so you have 20 nurtures. And do you know what all of those 20 people are gonna do when it comes to buying and selling real
Yeah.
estate? Do you know when?
Some people are out of town, so
Okay.
6 months.
Do you have, like, have they said, I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna sell, and this is
Yes.
when?
Yeah,
Fair enough, then use those numbers.
okay. So 20.
Yep. And then contacts.
The whole month, probably like, over like 40, 50. I don't
Okay,
know.
and do you think you could have more contacts?
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
60
Upward.
contacts
yeah.
for the month?
Mhm.
That's what, 15
A day? 15 a week?
a week? Yeah, you need more contacts. You need more contacts.
So,
You're new,
60.
you need to get in front of people. You do
Yeah.
better in front of people.
Yeah,
So you need more contacts.
but that's why I'm doing more open houses. I wanna have at least like.
25 contacts a week, 100 contacts a month. And
Okay.
if you're doing enough open houses, you're getting your contacts just
Yeah.
from open houses.
So we can count them as a contact too?
Meaningful conversation about real estate.
Oh.
So, I do have a, is
For
this-
every
So
person
I
that
do
goes
have
into an
more
open
than
house,
that.
guys, that should be a contact.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
know.
but
It
so,
should be a
so
contact.
I've been doing more than that then, because unless
Fine.
talking to people on the phone and
Fine.
the open houses too.
Yeah, if you're not having every person that comes into an open house as a contact, you don't have the right script.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, no,
every
yeah.
contact should be a nurture.
I see.
Yeah.
The difference would be that, they just bought a home, or they used to live, like yesterday, somebody came in, they already lived in the home, they
Yeah.
just were curious.
Yes,
You could still nurture them and you could turn them into a contact.
yeah. But he was a 18-year-old kid, he just wanna show his mom the house.
So-
Fair enough.
is the activities we're doing here, is that taking over our team standards 2 hours a day, or is that on top of the 2 hours a
Nope,
day?
the 2 hours a day, the 120 minutes is part of this.
Okay, okay.
What are you doing 120 minutes a day to prepare for, follow up with,
Okay.
lead gen new,
Yeah.
whatever it is?
So your 120 minutes a week is follow-up mainly, probably on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
wanted to get-
dedicated, intentional
Okay.
dial time for your business. Okay, so anybody have any questions with this? So on that, the only thing I see missing is how many open houses are you doing?
Okay, 4 a week,
4 a week?
yeah.
Good.
We already had set up for 3, right?
Yeah, for this week.
Okay,
This
so
week.
4 a week.
Yeah,
We're gonna add
Okay.
one more.
so should I put some?
Put it under how many? Any questions on that? Does anybody see any obstacles?
No, we do not.
Okay, 2 claps. Next.
Ready?
Tracy?
Tracy?
Oh.
She's like, I'm gonna work 1 hour a day, 1 day a week. I'm gonna talk to one
But
person.
she has high conversion though.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Very high
meet me.
conversion.
And I'm
right
gonna
now,
get him under
pretty
contract.
close.
Tracy is
Because that's how I do it.
once.
All ones.
She's so
And
quiet in
every
the back, like
time.
nobody see me.
Wait, what are you doing? You're just.
She's
What is
just
your
going.
name?
Spear.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
2 closings a month, 3 contracts, appointments.
Would
Sometimes I
Sphere,
don't even hold appointments.
I know, I get it.
would
Alright,
Sphere,
so-
Imagine if you were intentional, what would happen?
would Sphere include referrals from the Sphere?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so it's past and repeats.
Pass and repeats?
Yep.
And then referrals too.
Past and repeats, and then your sphere of influence would include anybody that you already know, like, and trust, or know somebody who knows, likes, and trusts them.
Okay.
So I would say 8 held,
A
2
month?
a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So set, I would say 16.
Okay, I think that's double, and I think that you have a stronger set to hold.
Yeah, I
But
think
that's
we can
good,
do it.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Nurture, I would say.
All.
Huh?
All. If you're doing sphere, you should be able to nurture every single one of the
People that-
Yeah,
appointments
but
that
how
you've held.
many, oh, yeah,
So 8.
but like I could nurture people who I don't have an appointment with.
That's because you're a mom.
and you coach
You
volleyball.
just like to nurture. So no, I would put 8.
8?
Yeah, because your goal would be to nurture every held appointment.
That
Should have put 7.
7.
Contacts, let's see.
How many people are in your sphere of influence that you have not talked to that do not know that you need their help buying and selling real estate in the next 12 months?
Maybe 50?
Okay, and then how many people are in your sphere of influence that do not know that you need their help buying and selling in the next 12 months, who know somebody who also needs your help?
I don't know, that's an unknown number.
So let's put another 50?
Yeah.
So 100 contacts a month?
Yeah.
Because as you start adding people to your database and you start adding more friends, you're gonna find more people that need your help.
I like that.
How many believe that this is a stretch goal for her?
100 contacts?
100
Oh,
con.
yeah, stretch.
For a month.
That's a
The
stretch.
contacts maybe,
Yeah.
but the closings, the appointments
Well, I'm
held.
not getting 2 right now.
But if
Oh,
you get
that is totally on you.
if you get
I believe
know.
you could do 4 a month.
If you
without
get
even
personal-
batting your eyelashes.
and purposeful with sphere, I think is 4 a month would be a good goal. If you are contacting the ones like he said, the people that you haven't talked to, I think 4 a month would be.
Wait, how much do you do now per month? Like
From
4?
Sphere?
Her average is 2. She
Okay, well,
bounces
yeah.
between 1 and 2 a month every single month.
Good job.
And when she doesn't do something for 1 month, she'll stack. She'll be like, I'm going on vacation, by the way, here's 3 contracts.
Look at that smile.
It's like, I'll see you in 2 weeks.
I believe it. I believe what Craig
That's
says.
She's a beast.
Okay, well, good. Any other volunteers? Oh, nobody
So-
else? We got everybody, right?
No, definitely not.
What?
No, I mean, we got all the
No,
agents, do the
yeah, we've got
ISAs go
plenty
there?
of-
Everybody else, they don't.
Are we good with this?
Yes.
Am I the only one that thinks that she's?
She can do more. I think you can do. I think you can do more.
But I think if you'll be held
At least
accountable, she
3.
should be too.
But my plan is 2 a month. Why are we changing the plan? I've got a balance here that I have to maintain.
Oh, your
Okay.
children, that's right. Well, it's a
Well,
realistic,
and-
2 closings
Yeah.
a month.
it's realistic for you.
When was the
Okay.
last time you hit 2 closings in 1 month? Last month?
Last
Yeah.
month.
Stop it.
Maybe you can
And I
do
think-
3.
I don't, but I'm already, I'm,
This is
my
your
plate,
thing.
I feel like my plate's full with 2.
Which is why, and this is me saying, I believe you can do 4, but you put on the brakes. Like, you're like, whoa, no.
You can send that to us.
You just have
We'll give you a referral. We'll give
You don't wanna work with some of her clients.
No, they always,
I think that's why she's hitting the brakes though too. She's had her pretty foul taste in her mouth.
yeah,
Maybe it worked
She's
out.
had
But that's
her.
like
She's had her
policy
fair.
and
She's had her fair
information.
Better
share.
friends.
Yeah, we can help you.
we can help you.
We
We
don't
don't
have a
have any
problem.
friends left after these transactions.
Yeah,
Alright,
your-
so
your
because
sphere.
this is a 30-day challenge, we're gonna keep you at the 2. And when we work on your business plan for next year, what I want you to consider is, how do I get to 4 without any more work, any more effort, and leveraging the team at a higher level?
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree.
Good. 2 claps. Moving on.
Do I get to pick?
So do.
Oh, Brandon didn't go yet.
Yeah, Brandon hasn't gone.
Oh,
Shame. We know your name.
let's go.
That's 10 for you.
People who, like your friends, family, people who know you, like you, and trust you. So.
That would probably be once I get.
Yeah. Yeah. So friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people.
He's like, you gotta show them my husband's
Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes cookies every Sunday.
I know.
I
Put it together.
switch it up to banana bread.
And you never bring any in.
Farm Vistas,
Well-
is that where Maria bought?
No.
Because I use it, I don't wanna make it too, yeah.
How many kids
So I'm going to do farming.
Ooh, it's different.
That came out of left field.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure could be big.
After,
Ronald McDonald with his sombrero on.
Zorro is gonna knock
So,
the door.
what's your price point?
Pablo.
350. 350 and up.
Wait, you're a farming man now?
He's getting in there, he's getting the hoe out.
Pablo,
Okay.
Pablo's gonna do a list.
So, Farm the Vistas, 350K, put it below there. I don't want any townhomes.
Unless they come,
Single family.
whatever,
SS,
what's the word?
next to
Alright, closings.
SS.
Now he got
Brandon's
nervous.
gonna say 5.
Now he got nervous.
Brandon's gonna say 5.
I'm trying to think.
Pressure's on it.
How many did you have last month, Monday?
He had 5.
Closing?
Closings.
I think
Wow.
Craig's
Not
got,
hard.
I feel like Craig's got a number in
You
his
didn't
head
think about
already.
this the whole time, everybody else is doing it.
I'm thinking about it, I just don't know.
Didn't you put this
Maybe
together?
4?
Nope.
Ooh.
5?
Nope.
3.
3?
What's my rule with you? Director of Sales.
Okay, 6?
Director of Sales must outperform everybody on the team by 2.
Wow.
So 6.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, honey.
Okay.
How many contracts?
And what happens if Connor does 4 transactions?
You in trouble.
He's tired of the
No,
No,
because
you
he
have
has
to
to
do-
outperform you by double as well.
You have to do 8.
Oh, he has to do double whatever
Yeah.
the highest person is?
Yes.
But I'd still close.
Connor
Keep
is-
it so, my
Connor
friend.
does 4, I have to do 8.
Yeah.
But he's got 3 up here, so it's
You're
only
right.
6.
So the rule is,
Okay,
because this is leadership, right?
right.
You always have to stay ahead of, your tribe. 2 months. So we go based on 2 months of activity. He has to outperform the team
Uh-huh.
for 2 months and by 2 months.
He's competing
So
with
we
you.
get a hotshot agent who walks in and goes, man, this is easy. Passed the test, I'm now licensee, I'm here. And they do 6 transactions in 1 month, and they do 4 in the next. What's the average?
5.
And he's gotta hit 10.
So he has to hit 10.
Wow.
So he has a safety net, but he has to do the activity as the director of sales times 2.
Is that his official title now?
I mean, I don't know. What do
Or
you
is he
think?
still interviewing?
What do you think? What do you think?
I always looked at him as director of sales.
What do you think?
Second in command.
What do you think?
Have to prove yourself.
What do
He's good, yes.
What do you think?
I agree.
What do you think?
I agree with Fernando.
What do you think? What do you think?
I agree.
What do you think?
I think you would have to have numbers for at least 2 months in a row.
Whoa, Tracy, you're right,
Oh.
yeah.
I agree.
What are your numbers for the last 2
Oh,
months?
well, there you go.
Which, by the way, they're higher than anybody else's in the room. So be careful how hard we want to push that. But yes, he has the highest production in the last 2 months.
Well, like the standard by 2.
Yeah,
If
by
he
2.
has that in 2 months,
Yeah.
Then yeah, did you?
Good.
I think you did.
Not by, I don't think by 2.
Nope, not by 2.
Not by 2.
Nope.
Well, he's getting there. Okay, well then, yeah, director of sales, congratulations.
And you must hit the numbers. So correct what Tracy's saying here. Let's get clarity on this.
Right,
So the team is saying, hey, we're going to make you an interim director of sales.
right.
You must hit the numbers by 2, and you must maintain the numbers by 2.
Done.
All right, then I take it back.
You can
I'm
do
not
it.
there.
Right?
I believe in it. I believe
I agree.
it.
Good.
Okay,
He's got it.
So what
He's
should
in
I,
training.
for contracts?
So 2 claps. Does it matter? No. Because your job, and this is how I look at things, your job now is to stay in front of pace of the rest of the team and support the team to hit their numbers. So let me ask you something. Are you going to focus on farming, or are you going to focus on the team hitting the spear, the team hitting their open houses, the team hitting FISBOs,
Right.
the team hitting here, the team hitting here, and by doing that, I also will hit 6 closings of my own.
So is his focus the team?
Well, isn't that the job of the director of sales?
So how
So
can
are you gonna
he
have time for
focus on all that while doing his?
That's director of sales operations.
He can.
He
I
can
mean,
do
there is plenty of time in the day.
He can do it.
He can
He can do it,
absolutely
he's
do
single,
it,
he got
because
kids.
what you focus on is him. If he goes out with Connor one day and says, all right, let's go do this. Let's like, I'm gonna shadow you, I'm gonna be a part of this with you, I'm gonna help you, let's go knock some doors out. Don't you think just by sheer force, he's going to do business off of that?
Mm-hmm.
He will. He will. And don't you think by him going to some open houses and saying, hey, let's get ready with your open house scripts, let's make sure that things are signed, let me get on the phone with you, show you how to run these scripts, by sheer force, he's gonna do more business?
Yes.
Do you think he's competing with you?
No.
No.
Routine.
Do you think that by him doing farming in the Vistas, and somebody gets an open house, and they go to the Vistas, do you think that he's competing with you?
Yes.
Could, yeah. So I really think that your farming is good, but you're not farming the Vistas, you're farming the team.
Okay, so should I cross this out?
I would. I would.
Since you guys are
And
the
I would
same
still hold you
person.
accountable to 6 closings.
Okay.
Because he'll work tirelessly 24 hours a day if he needs to stay ahead of the team, knowing that he's pulling the team. Okay, his job is not to push the team. His job is to say, hey guys, let's get into business, let's hit our numbers, I'm here for you. Let me spend that 3 hours in the morning with you and focus on your business so that you all go off and do your thing, and then I will focus on my business. And by doing that, I'll hit my numbers, you'll hit your numbers, and we're all going to grow this. Oh, and I will always do twice the production that you do. Otherwise, I may not be a good fit to be your director of sales. But trust me, you want him to be the director of sales. You're going to push him. You're going to hold him accountable. He will do bigger numbers because of you, and he'll hold you. And that energy that you create is amazing. You know, when I see the numbers shifting at the 15th of the month, I only have to tell a few of you. And then you kind of pull me through and say, yep, let's go hit our numbers. Yep, let's do this. Yes, let's do that. Why do you think I established on month 1 for Amelia to make sure the team gets 10 deals? 10 contracts, 10 escrows. Did we hit it?
Yeah.
Of course we hit it. Why did we hit it? Did Amelia go up to you and go, come on, hit your number? No.
No, she said.
She just constantly reminded us, constantly pushed us when we were all sitting there chit-chatting for 20 minutes, eating bonbons and cookies. She said, hey guys, a little less this and a little more this. She pulled us through that. So when the whole team is doing that, and the whole team is holding each other accountable, you will do so much more, so much faster. It's by design. So, congratulations. Good fucking luck.
So should I just leave this blank then?
I think you know what you have to do.
So do you have to make double? He does, because you're the leader?
He doesn't drink.
He's not here when he does that, but he's not in
Just checking, I'm
production.
just checking.
Yeah, I'm not in production, and my job is recruiting.
Okay.
So, any questions on this?
Nope.
Okay, so now, what I do want is I want numbers from you, and you, and you, and you, and you. And what I want those is I want those to be appointment set and appointment held. Only.
Yeah, you can just add it right here to the
Just
bottom.
write your name, write appointments held, appointments set. Because your focus is going to be, what do I need to do so that I'm learning how to set better appointments and hold better appointments, okay? And the team will help you through that.
You know how many?
My friend.
Okay, so,
Committed to the team yet.
let's see here.
Only thing I want you to fill out is appointments held and appointments set.
Okay, so for the month, I need to have at least 2 a week, so I can go 10 held. 10 held.
I think that that's half of what we agreed to.
It is.
As long as you know that I know your numbers.
Yes, all right, so,
Put it under that held.
oh, yeah, so,
Yeah.
okay.
So put it here and then there.
Yes. All right, and then 27.
Okay?
Are you exiting out of this?
All right, take away the 10, the first, sure, cross that out. All right, next. Sets and helds. for the month, how many, and it's on your 411. So how many are held for the month? 3. Okay, those aren't contracts, those are held. And then how many do you have to set to hold them 3? Okay?
Sure. Actually, the camera's right there.
next to it. Okay? Yesenia.
So mine's actually gonna be 20.
Okay, write it down.
Copycat.
So I'm gonna do plus contracts.
Okay?
Can I write that?
Sure.
And what do they call? They call brevity? What do they do?
Some of them are in the database right now, some of them are on expireds,
Okay.
some of them have a sphere that they're working through.
Are they gonna write their thing there or no?
A lot of these have to do with conversations and stuff, so I don't want to go down that road. And the reason why I want you to do this, because no matter what business you're in, no matter what you're doing, we have 2 jobs in our business, and that is lead generation and servicing the business that we're in. So, yep, put a line, write your name, sets and helps. Cat, don't let the seat fall out from underneath you. You're next.
I've been so focused on the tests.
Okay. And then write your name.
Well, I like that. The stars landing on the moon.
All right. And last but not least,
Hey Craig, can I legally record my conversation at your door?
yes. Yeah, you could, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I just like voice recorder on in my pocket. Is that a?
Yep.
Without letting you.
And then help, sets. How many conversations sets should the people attend?
I thought you couldn't do that.
You can.
Yeah. You can, so private party, you can, one party can consent to recording. You can't use it for anything without approval. But you can use it for yourself and,
Just walk up to
you
the
can
door.
use it- You can use it for
This conversation
educational
will be
purposes.
recorded for educational purposes, by the way. Slam. That worked out really well.
Okay, so let's take a photo of this, let's send it to us. Any questions on that? We're all committed to this?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, let's move on to the sales meeting and then let's get you out of here in 15 minutes.
Hang it on my wall.
Thank you. All right, so I still don't have market graphs, I don't know why, right? Is it because Sean's out of the office?
I think so, they won't be until latest Wednesday, she says.
All right, so I don't know what the market's doing for September, are you up?
Getting up, but I'm gonna go grab my little.
I don't know what's happening with the market, but here's what I do know. How many opened up an escrow in the last week?
Raise your hand.
3 of you, so raise your hand. I'm one. Opened an escrow in the last week. Okay, how many have, well, she's one of them, so she's not raising her hand. Right now, with the market shifting, we talked a little bit about it last week, the buyers are a little ahead of the market than the sellers. Sellers still kind of think we're in a seller's summer market, inventory is low, they can ask for more money than what the home is worth, and the buyers are already kind of place marking properties. You're seeing buyers starting to write an offer on something after they've looked at it once, twice, 3 times, and they're starting to extend due diligence periods, loan contingencies, appraisal contingencies. When you are a listing agent and you start seeing the buyer extend those periods, that is a clear indication that they're still shopping. That's a clear indication that they like the house, they may not love the house. Be careful how quickly your seller accepts it. We had a situation this morning, I think it was on Brandon's deal, where price and everything was good. Everybody was good on everything except that they wanted basically a month of contingencies. Basically, 28 days for contingencies alone.
For the loan contingency, I told.
Is that a marijuana leaf on the front of that? That's what it looks like. So I was on the fence with them. I'm like, well, I know your sellers. They need to sell fast. They want to kind of lock this thing up and get out from underneath it. I also know that the buyer's gonna lock this thing up and could extend this thing off for 30 days and then at the end of it, walk out. So I understood both sides. I think you ended up just getting it accepted and.
Well, yeah, because I saw that, when I first saw that, I mean, it, like you said, it gave me a little cause for concern, because 28 days on a loan, because the most weird thing to me was that their close of escrow date was normal, it was about a month out, but they wanted the loan contingency 28 days.
Yeah, because they wanted to be able to get out for any reason.
So
So-
I shortened it up.
And with a loan contingency though, how do they get out from underneath of it?
They don't qualify. A lot of buyers are in bed with their lender, either through the agent or not. And there's a lot of lenders that will write a letter to say, oh, you don't qualify at this much, or I'm only gonna qualify you a little less so I can get you out.
So how do you, so do you request the proof of funds before? I mean, did they
Yeah.
submit?
Yeah, we
They
do.
always send
Yeah.
proof of funds with.
So then
it.
at that point, how did the
But
lender
it was
just
also
make-
it was a higher appraisal contingency deadline too.
Yeah, everything, so there was it was a 12-day due diligence, it was an 18-day appraisal, or no.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right, 18 day.
And a 28-day loan, so
Yeah.
I shortened it to 10, 12, 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
I called her and I told her that I was just shortening their contingency dates, that was the only thing, she agreed.
So
then-
just understand that, guys, just understand that that's the market we're in. Also, how many of you are in a contract right now where your buyer or your seller, you know, their mood changes and they get really happy in 1 minute and then they get really scared and they
That
start,
was last
"Ooh."
week.
Okay, you're gonna see that happen more. So what does that mean for you? That means that when you go into the contract, you need to be very clear with them. The market's shifting, there's gonna be a little bit of a scarcity mindset. People are going to worry about whether they're making the right decisions or not. And as an agent, in the last 24 months, we had a buyer and a seller right here. And all we had to do is just get them there. Okay? Whether they wanted to or not, we just had to get them one step closer. Now we're about here, and we're going to be about here. So you as an agent are constantly gonna have to nudge them. What does that mean?
Keep communication.
Multiple counters,
Solve problems.
okay? You might even cancel a contract once, twice, 3 times
Right,
with the same parties.
yeah.
become a
You might go
credit
back to
negotiator?
properties 2 or 3 or 4 times. You might have pre-listing appointments for your pre-listing appointment. If you're dealing with FSBOs, you're gonna have a longer, problem presentation. Because they don't know, they're hearing one thing here and they're hearing one thing here and they're not quite sure what's the truth. So I'm going to encourage all of you to take a little more time to understand our market right now. Facts will take you a lot further. And we all know that. I mean, you've heard me have conversations with people where I rattle off facts and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Oh yeah, I think I read that something on, so read more. Okay, go to shift, go to bold, pull this data and then use it to your advantage. It's going to be even more important, but it's really important right now. Now here's the one thing that's awesome about our market shift. It's going to be easy to take listings. You will all be able to take listings.
Why is
It's
that?
what you do with the listings that's going to yield you a paycheck. Okay? It is easy right now to go and take a listing.
Can you say that in a listing presentation?
Absolutely.
I mean, is that something?
The reality is I'm here in front of you, and if you don't list with me, it's because you don't like me, but you're gonna list with somebody, and there's gonna be a half a dozen agents walking in tomorrow or the next day. Yep, most of them are gonna do the same thing. Here's what I'm gonna do differently. Because right now, if the seller is paying attention to the market shift, they understand that interest rates went up on what day last week? Thursday. Okay? Mortgage interest rates rose almost 1/8 of a point on Thursday. Now some mortgage companies have already raised them beforehand. They are trying to use it as a way to get some quick business. We're not gonna raise ours for, but in general, mortgage interest rates went up. We expect them to go up by how much within the next 12 months?
A point.
And some economists say that this will be the first time in history that interest rates exceed 1% in 12 months. We've never had interest rates go up by more than a point in a year, ever. And some economists say that it's going to. Okay? Unemployment is below what right now?
4.
4%. Lowest it has been in the last 20 years.
It's amazing.
Okay? So know your facts. These are all things that you can use to get a buyer to buy today and a seller to sell today, but know your facts. Those 2 points alone will get you a buyer under contract and a listing under contract. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you're scared about your job. You should be, but not for the reasons you think. You should be scared because we're going to have more business in here in the next 12, 24, 36 months, and you're going to have more opportunity to leave the job that you're at right now and make more money. Because unemployment is below 4%. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, right now interest rates are going up, and so buyers are going to slow down fast. You're 4% below the market cap, somewhere between 4 and 5. I don't know if the market has gone down for the 4th month in a row, but we're somewhere between 4% below the market cap, which was in 2006. If you think your home is going to continue to go up, you are betting in a betting state, and there are other people that are betting against you. So your odds are growing ever increasingly smaller and smaller. The best time to sell your home is probably during the summer when we have the least amount of inventory. Inventory is increasing, demand is decreasing. So even if your home continues to go up in value, if you have any remote inkling of going and buying a home, it's a wash, because interest rates are going to go up faster than your home increases in value. And that's assuming you have one of those really nice homes. So let's just do the right thing. Let's list a home and sell it today. Make no mistake, a good priced home in a great location is still going under contract fast. It's still going under contract fast. Doesn't mean that it's closing. Okay? And the competition on the streets is about taking listings. It's not about closing deals. So are you taking listings that you can close, or are you taking listings to take listings? Either one is good. There's nothing wrong with either one. But if you're taking listings to list, make sure that you're getting a buyer or two or another listing out of it. And what are you doing? Are you doing open houses? Are you not letting anybody into your listing until you've done an open house? Do you have a sign writer? Are you door knocking? Are you circle prospecting just lists? And what are you doing for the next 30 days to get 2 more buyers and another listing? Okay? Any questions on that? Those are your facts. That's what you need to know. Who did a social media video this week? Whoa, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you do a social media video?
Yes, I did.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You did
Hands
too.
broken?
Did you make one?
Did you do one?
I told you.
No, she didn't.
No?
You gotta do 100, full 100.
I didn't know it was me.
And nobody
I
on
warned
our
you.
team
I
is
warned
guilty, is
all of your guys' social
exempt.
media.
No. Oh, she shared.
Oh, you gotta do
That
a
doesn't
Don't
count.
Doesn't count. It's got to be about your business.
Kat?
Well, she's
I didn't
out.
know I was.
Okay, you weren't here last Monday.
So she's excused.
Does Kat get a pass?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so you have to do
Did you
a
get it?
social media video, post it on your favorite social media site, whatever that is, and tag whoever you can that's on the team so we know it's been done. If you go onto Twitter, you won't find me. Well, you will, but if you go on to
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook, we're all
Instagram,
in.
you may not. And what does Amelia need to do?
Do a bowl 100.
Oh,
How's
no,
that
she
work?
doesn't do that.
So intense.
She has to fill out
Hey,
some.
he's the new
we
director
agreed
of
on that last
sales.
week.
You know what?
I
She needs
didn't
to
know
attend
it
an
was
open
me
house with us, so
either
she knows how it
on
works.
that. I was sharing all of
Nobody's
your guys'
exempt.
Okay, so I hear Bold 100, and I
$100.
hear attend an open house with an agent.
Ooh,
No,
it's
you
an
got,
open house.
that's attend more open houses than just one.
100 open houses.
Oh my
No,
God.
but she knows
She
how
doesn't
to
understand how we do things. I don't know.
Because I mean, an open house, that's
Quickly,
that's 3 hours of a
Their
Saturday.
cookies. Bring
5 what?
5 open
And bring the
Yeah.
cookies.
Open house. 5 open houses?
5 open houses, and she has
So
to help
here's what
out
I
put
think.
signs.
Here's what I think is, here's what I think is, who's doing an open house this weekend?
We are. Yeah.
What's your availability this weekend?
Oh, I'll go.
Only
You're doing an
Saturdays,
open
guys.
house.
Well, okay, we sent you the one, we sent 2 hours, so you can come to the one on Saturday.
Just kidding.
So you need to do a video
Yeah,
and
that-
post it on
yeah.
social media
Oh,
of
yeah.
2 open houses this weekend.
I'll be out there
Deal.
anyways, guys.
You need to do the
Easiest
video.
thing I heard.
What?
Good, I think that's fair. Moving on.
Good.
Who has had a 411 with Craig? 1, 2, 3, who
You
has not had a
skipped me
411 with
last
Craig?
I gotta skip.
Yeah, if you get rescheduled, it's my fault, not yours.
Okay, we
All
gotta
right,
reschedule.
so 411 for everybody this week. It's 15 minutes, especially if we're doing them every week. It
And
gets-
you learn a lot.
It's really fast. We get real intentional. We're in, we're out.
Every
So
time
please.
I'm skipped.
Because Patty is now working virtually,
Yeah.
and it's Patty's intention that if we're not holding a 411 and she's not having a database 411 with you, she's just gonna turn you
But
off.
why can't we give the calendars to them? Why can't you just automatically just set it?
I'm sorry, is it my business or yours?
No, but I'm just saying, Joe.
Schedule your 411. I agree with you,
Yeah,
but
We scheduled
Schedule
that
your
with,
411.
with Jody, right?
Yeah, Jody, or,
Come
yeah,
in.
okay. So the appointment held winner this week is who?
Joseph V.
Dinner winner, chicken dinner.
Can we just acknowledge, can we acknowledge that I'm on the board?
Wait, you are on the board.
Without even having to set one, you held it.
Wow.
Without saying.
Do you have change for 100?
No.
There we go. 2 claps. Good job.
Who's Pedro?
You.
No, it's no longer Pablo.
How many escrows do we have to have this month, guys?
3.
How many do we have right now?
You said 3.
No, contracts. I
Oh,
said contracts earlier.
Oh, I thought you said
How many escrows do we have?
New escrows,
one,
right?
and hopefully a second one.
2.
Well, and hopefully,
We all get some more.
hopefully yours is gonna go to contract.
Did you get an offer?
No,
Yes.
yeah.
But you didn't,
It's cash.
yeah, you don't like it.
Are you gonna accept it?
And hopefully yours will go to contract.
Way too low.
$2, yeah.
Yeah.
Two Valley?
$2.
If anybody's looking
Valid.
at.
So that would be 4.
I'll be getting a listing on the 15th and hopefully that goes quick.
And when
Hopefully.
Denise, I never really worry about yours. Yours, you tend to price yours right, and you tend to go under contract pretty fast.
Should see us as hopefully.
I mean, you're a snob, so you don't take a normal listing. You're like, do I take this listing or not? Yeah.
Well,
If
geez,
you
you
reduce
passed
it,
on to us.
if you reduce it 20,000, I might take the listing for you. No,
No,
I'm kidding, but
it's not.
you typically have, good listings in good neighborhoods, and you price them right, and so you go under contract pretty fast.
And these people are nice.
Okay.
When the
Brevity.
property falls
So
out.
have we scheduled brevity training?
Brevity, yes. Well, it's not scheduled yet. We talked to Savannah. Savannah is gonna get to us either this afternoon or tomorrow. They only give 30 minutes of training at a time. But you guys were told to submit your questions. How many of you guys did it last week?
So, but tomorrow we can do that.
Just one
right?
person. And you guys got after me for my video?
No. I don't
How
have
many
any questions.
submitted their questions
Where are
last
we
week?
supposed to
Well,
post them?
Only Yesenia.
If we don't, if there aren't any questions submitted.
But
then
tomorrow we can do that.
I know
because we have
everything.
both,
No.
right?
Okay.
Tomorrow we have both.
What I don't know, what I don't know.
So that's for Patty, so
Okay.
you guys are in trouble.
All right, I'm not gonna go through the rest of the calendar here, but I do want everybody to understand that we have first step tomorrow. Do we know where it's at?
No.
We kept saying Green Valley.
Yeah.
They, Gene
They
Rivers,
changed
they even said Green Valley.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can you confirm and walk today before, actually dial 100.
Craig, is Shannon can go tomorrow?
Yes.
Hello? Hello?
So usually I have to pick up the phone.
Hello?
Keith! Keith! Keith!
Keith!
Keith!
Keith!
Open the door, I wanted to get it. Hello.
Keith, not ED.
Yes.
Hey, where's Bolt tomorrow?
I think it's at Green Valley.
Is it at Green Valley?
I'm gonna show up.
You think? I Green Valley.
gonna show up there.
Because remember Russ was on the, he says that we're moving when he was on
So
the
we could have moved it, and that would be at Brad's financial place on the,
215 in Durango area.
yeah, so I haven't heard, I'm just going to Green Valley.
So
Okay.
can we make sure?
So since that's not good enough for me, can you find out where Bolt is and
Yeah.
let us know? All right, so we got Bolt. Moving on, we have this week.
Feel used.
Thanks.
Are we just gonna, if it's at Green Valley, are we just meeting there then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If any of you have vehicle issues and need to be picked up here and brought down there, let's just arrange it with Amelia, and we'll make sure that you're all there. You're going as well. I want to get clear.
Yes.
Okay, great. Jody does not need to go. She needs to be in the office tomorrow, because everybody else will be there. Is there anybody in this room who is not going to Bold tomorrow? First step, it's free.
I'm not registered, but I'll.
You're going?
Today, yeah.
I'm sorry, is it high and proud or is it low? Convince me.
Well, no, it's not low convince me. I'm doing an open house Thursday and Friday, so I'm not gonna be able to go tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
No, but it's like a.
I only have so much that I can work.
You're right, and how convenient for you. Because you're scared that Russ is going to
I don't wanna
convert you.
deal with it, I'm not gonna lie, I do not wanna deal with it.
She scheduled those
Annoyed
open
me
houses
big
on
time.
purpose.
So how do we feel? How do we feel about? So here's, you guys know my rule.
Yeah.
Bold once a year. Tracy has gone to Bold. I've said to everybody a month ago, I was not going to pressure her. I get it. Tracy works in her business 2 days a week. I get it. And how do we feel about her not going to First Step?
Sad.
Upset.
Upset.
Wow.
Melancholy.
Melancholy.
But no, I understand, because Mother.
But I do understand.
Plus, I'm meeting Chad over to at that new house to do stuff. So I'm really working tomorrow too, actually.
Are we cool? Is there anybody in the room
Okay.
that doesn't understand?
I
I
don't.
understand.
You know, like.
Payback, right? You're like, you're telling me too much? Guess what, girlfriend? I get it. Karma.
That's how business.
I'll bake you guys cookies.
All right, done deal.
So,
This,
we're
don't
good?
pick 'em and just leave
Everybody in
them
the
alone.
room, we're good?
Yes,
You don't like cookies?
we're good.
Yes, yes, yes?
I'm good.
Okay, so you get a pass. You get a pass.
But she has to do steps 2 through 8.
Everybody else will be there. It's first step, it's the beginning of Bold. Anybody in the room can tell you what Bold really is. The first step is free, so it's no obligation, and you'll learn some stuff.
The sales pitch is free.
Okay? If you're going, I just need to know that you're going so I could register you there, okay?
I need.
Any of us can give you all the details.
You're gonna register me?
No. Okay, speaking of Bold, Thursday, or Tuesday, tomorrow, it's from 8:30 to about 3:30 at the Green Valley office, unless Amelia says something. Does anybody in this room not know where the Green Valley office is?
I don't know.
I
Okay.
know.
Right now.
Okay, so today, before you leave, you will come to somebody and we will give you the address. It's on Corporate Circle.
It's
2230 Corporate Circle.
Oh, listen, it's right here.
I got it. I got
At
it.
8:30, we do not show up late.
So show up at 8.
Yeah, there's a Starbucks across the street. If you are at the Starbucks across the street by 7:45, I'll buy you a coffee.
I'll be there at 7:30.
7:45.
Yeah, it's like right across Green Valley Parkway.
7:45, we're not 8.
Well, if you leave your house between 7:30 and 8, you're going to be
Late.
20 to 30 minutes late.
No, no,
Just so
get
you
there
know.
at 8, no?
Traffic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cause
Around
there's
that bend.
right,
Yep.
right
Okay,
there.
moving on.
What time?
So tomorrow, there is no shift book club, for obvious reasons. The next one will be October 16th. We got some good stuff out of the last one.
If you're gonna be there. by
Bring your
8:15.
shift book.
What chapter are you guys on?
We are on the
7,
last,
15.
the last tactic going through to the end.
Yes.
Mm.
So wait, when does?
Okay, October 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. right here in this office.
I'll do it.
Team Tiffy Dialing for Dollars. Brandon will be running it.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yep,
Will I?
here, computer, 4 o'clock, making appointments, we're paying you cash.
Does that mean I gotta grab the cash too?
The job is to set appointments that day.
That job is to set appointments that day, that's correct.
What's the rule on FISBOs for dialing?
No rules. Well, you're the only one doing
Okay.
FISBOs.
Exactly.
So Brandon will help you with your rules.
Okay,
I mean, it really comes down to, because this is 2 weeks from now,
yeah.
are you hitting your numbers and what are you doing during Dialing for Dollars to hit your numbers?
Okay.
That's all.
So, I'm sorry, just, are we inviting other people to that? Like,
You can.
Okay.
Oh, you want to know for recruiting
Yes,
purposes.
yes.
We'll have a sidebar on that, okay? Second step is gonna be October 23rd. There is a week break between first step and second step, okay? How many in this room are going through the entire 7 steps of Bold? How many in this room are going through the entire 7 steps of Bold? How many in this room would like to go through the entire 7 steps of Bold and money is the only issue? Okay? So money is never a problem if you're on my team. If you're committed to going through Bold and you're committed to the Bold steps, you will do the production and you will pay me back through your transactions. And even if you don't, you'll go through Bold again, which means that even though you're gonna have a higher bill with me, you will learn from the first and second Bold and go through the third Bold, and because now you're really intentional in your business, you will succeed.
Plus, if you get contracts, there's a lot
So-
of fun stuff that.
Very quickly, and then we're gonna wrap up and be done. The way it works with me is if you have never gone through Bold and you're on the team, you're gonna get paid twice. The Market Center is gonna give you $100 per transaction that you put into escrow while in Bold, and I'm going to give you $100.
At
At closing. So for every closing you did that was generated through Bold, you're gonna get $200. Now, you're not gonna get $100 from me if I paid for your Bold in advance. And what'll happen is, you'll get $100 from the Market Center. They give $100 off,
Yeah.
and you're gonna owe me $100. So the way it works is, you're going to pay me $100 at close of escrow, and you're going to get a $100 credit from me. So now, instead of you owing $800, you're now only gonna owe $600. So you're gonna give me $100 at close of escrow, okay, not out of your own pocket,
Already.
and you're gonna get $100 credit. So you're just gonna give me the credit from the marketplace. And then you're gonna do another contract. You're gonna pay me $100, you're gonna get a credit. So now you're only at $400. Does everybody understand how it works?
So what if we contract, like, last Bold step before graduation, I contract a listing.
Yep.
That listing goes under contract in January. Does that
Okay.
count as a listing?
No.
No. It has to
We
go.
follow the Keller Williams Bold contract, which is 6 months. Depending on what it is, we might give you 9 months, like a new construction, or it's somebody who was referred in or out.
Okay.
We might give you a little, up to 9 months. We never give you more than 9 months.
So that's six months
6
after
months.
the graduation of Bold.
Correct.
Okay.
So if that is the case from your last deal, I'll give you the 100.
Okay.
Because I believe the honor system is important. They're not gonna give you anything.
Okay.
But what that means is you would just get,
Okay.
you
So
would get, because you only get the up to $800 from the marketplace one time.
Okay.
First time you go through Bold. So
Okay.
Tracy wouldn't get it, Craig wouldn't get it, John wouldn't get it, Brandon wouldn't get it, Justine wouldn't get it.
I'm
But
the
you
first-
would.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
why.
both of us.
So I'll give you the 100
I
for
have
the
two
one before.
listings.
Yeah.
Set up.
You're gonna get the best deal. Now, you do not have to be a licensed agent to go through Bold.
Yeah, but then how do you?
You go in as an ISA.
So you would just go in and if you close a contract, I guess you'd have an agent close that contract?
You would close the
Oh.
contract through me.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, okay.
Okay? Any questions on that? There are 2 documents that would have to be signed. One is our agreement that I'm loaning you the money. And then there is an agreement with Keller Williams Marketplace One for the escrows that you open during Bold.
So just to clarify, does it begin on the first step or second step?
First step.
So the second, do you have the calendar for the whole
Two listings.
week?
They
For
do,
the whole-
yes. It was on the back, it's on the back of our Bold paperwork.
Again.
But is there any questions on Bold? If you're committed to Bold and you're committed to practicing the principles of Bold and working your business and driving it forward, you're going to do the 8 deals. And if you're not committed, you're not gonna do the 8 deals. You might do 4, you might do 2, you might do 1, I don't know. And if you know that you're only gonna have to pay back what you borrowed when you close, or if you ever left the team, you would have to pay it back, and the rest of it I'll just roll on, then why are you not in Bold?
So
That's
we.
the
I'm
question.
paying
So
off myself, so it.
Yeah, so you would literally get $100 off at closing from me, because you don't owe me anything. So you would get $200 per closed deal at Bold, which means after 4 deals, your Bold was paid for.
Yeah.
So then, and then the Market Center pays another for it. They pay up to 8 deals.
They pay up to
Oh, yeah.
$800, yeah, so that's what she would get.
So you could get, so if you,
So let's say her split, she was getting $1,000. She would get $1,200. Because she doesn't owe anybody, and she's getting 100 from me and 100 from the marketplace.
Let's
So
close the
she would get
deals.
$1,200. But if she owed me, she would get $900.
yeah,
Because I give her $100 credit, and I take 100.
yeah.
So that would happen for 4 deals, and then Bold would be paid for.
But when
And
she-
then if she closed 8 deals, I would start paying her back.
But if she owed you, if you paid for the 800, wouldn't she still only get 1,000?
No, because I'm giving her a credit,
and then the $100 would come from the market center that would be giving you.
Right, because she's still paying me $100. So what she's really doing is she's paying me the $100 credit, and I'm giving her a $100 credit. That's kind of how it works.
Okay.
You really get successful and bold when you've got 4+ deals, because now you're actually making money.
Plus, you're in the
on
positive,
bold.
you're in the green, not the red.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
All right, so real talk. October 25th. This room, 11 a.m. Who do you know wants to get into real estate? Who needs to learn from myself, Ed, and Sharon? Nate will be taking this over, provided we can come to a financial agreement this week. I'm sure we will. But he will be taking over the recruiting from Rihanna. Rihanna is no longer on the team, and it's mutual. It's good.
Okay, good.
We're happy, we're good. She's gonna help Ignacio.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing but respect for her. There's no problems. If you hear rumors that there is, trust me, there's no issues. Rihanna and I are very close. This is a natural progression for her. She's gonna get back into doing some selling. She's gonna get back in with Ignacio. She doesn't wanna recruit. She was doing it to help us.
Yeah,
And so I'm perfectly okay with
She's
that.
an Asian, right?
Yeah, she's licensed, yep.
good for her.
So, wish her all the best, and everything is fine. So Nate will be picking up some of our recruiting efforts. Are there any questions on that? Okay, so real quick, because we need to go, some of us went to Keller Williams VIP on Friday. We're going to be asked to move into our own mega agent spot. It's a model. I don't agree with the model, but it is Keller Williams' model. They're not going to give us any more office. There is a very slim, slight chance that Terry might approve us to have some office space in the building, but I've heard mixed stories on that. I've heard that the building management won't give Keller Williams any more space. The only space that I'm aware of is the 6,000 square feet that's right down the hall here with OSN. Even though it's a beautiful space, that is going to be at the cost of about $450 a square foot, give or take. So you can do the math. Okay, I'm not willing to spend that much. Love y'all, but. And it's always been on my business plan to own. I put it out there here when Elizabeth and John left the market center. I still to this day don't know why they left.
Greg.
It's irrelevant.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg, give me your gun.
Okay, thanks. I thought he was like shutting me up, like, hey. Elizabeth and John stepped out. They had an ownership. I didn't know if it was cash or if it was sweat equity. I didn't know. So I put my feelers out there that I would be interested in absorbing some ownership. Nothing ever came back to that. I heard through the grapevine that there might be an opportunity in VIP. Do me a favor, turn off the camera. This is not really something that needs to be out there.
So, I
In
was
fact, when